Last time we painted a paper, we mixed yellow and red to make orange. This is going to be our pumpkin. And the first decision you need to make is, are you going to have a tall, thin pumpkin? Or are you going to have a short, wide pumpkin? This way, you want to decide how you are going to use your paper to make your pumpkin. And once you make that decision as an artist, you are going to turn the paper over and you're going to take a pencil and you're going to draw yourself a circle. Remember how we practiced drawing our circle using our finger and tracing it a couple of times until we feel comfortable, following it very carefully with our eyes so we are warming up our shoulder and our joints to draw a nice big circle. Once you feel comfortable with that, go ahead and put your pencil down and draw yourself a nice big circle shape for your pumpkin. The next thing you'll do is take your scissors and you're going to cut out your pumpkin. Now I'm ready to glue this onto my paper. So I'm going to flip my paper over that I'm gluing. Remember, we always put our glue on the smaller piece. So the circle is smaller than the blue background paper. Now I'm ready to glue, but I need to make sure glue will come out first. I can tell there's some dry glue on here. To make it a little bit easier for me to pick it off, I'm going to press it on the table. And you can see how it's a little bit clearer now. You can see where the dry glue is, and it makes it easier for me to pick it off. This would go into the garbage. And then remember, these are the ones with the buttons. So there's this little red button. If you don't push this in, no glue is going to come out. So I'm going to push it down on the paper. It's just setting on the paper. Now it's pushed down, and then I squeeze. And I dot, dot, not a lot. With our black and white paper, we are going to be cutting eyes and teeth and a mouth. The first thing I want to do is take this rectangle. I'm going to fold it in half to make it more like a square. I find it's easier to cut a circle when I start with a square. Now my goal is, without drawing a line, to try to round the corners and make these eyes nice and big. So I'm going to start on one side. And again, my helper hand is turning the paper as I go, working on making it nice and big. I think I'm going to make mine a little bit thinner because I have a tall, thin pumpkin. I go back around until I have a nice, smooth stopping point. And these will be my eyes. Now on my black paper, I want to cut a little strip off the end, because I want to do two things with this black paper. I want to make a mouth, and I want to make the inside of the eyes. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the white paper. I'm going to take this rectangle and fold it in half so it's more of a square shape. And because this is folded and I'm cutting through two papers, I'm going to get two circles when I'm cutting only one. So cutting, turning, and cutting, turning and cutting. All right, now I think those black parts of the eyes are a little bit too big for my white parts. So I'm going to take this back and I'm going to trim this down a little bit. So I'm just going to cut again. Just try to cut a strip off of all the edges as I work my way around. I like that better. See how there's a little bit more white showing on my eyes. Next, I'm going to cut a mouth. And the mouth shape is really up to you. You can use this straight edge here for the top, and then if you want to, you can just curve the bottom so you're cutting kind of like a D shape. So now I have my mouth. So when you're happy with your arrangement, then you're going to start to do some gluing. I'm going to start with the mouth first, and the smaller parts are the teeth. So I'm going to put some glue on it. Now this is a pretty small tooth, so 1 dot's probably going to be enough. And then I can flip it over and press it down. I'm ready to glue my mouth onto the pumpkin. So I'm going to put a few extra dots on this because this is a bigger one. Going around the outside edge. And then I can place my mouth on the pumpkin. I can do my eyes. So I'm going to start with the black part. I want to add a nose. Most often, when I see a pumpkin, I see a triangle nose. I'm going to write my name and class code near the top because we're going to add some grass to the bottom. And this will go in the drying rack.